Been a while. Welcome to today's content-filled episode where I'm going to describe the quick differences between the RF100-400, the brand new lens I've just purchased, and the EF55-250, which many a person who's had a cheap DSLR has used. Is it worth the difference? Is it worth the price? Let's find out. Well, let's just get straight into it. The RF100-400, it is a big lens, by all means. It's not something I'm used to, but it is really smooth. You don't notice it's there when you're using it. And then you've got the EF55-250, much smaller. First immediate thing I'm going to point out, there is a huge difference in size between the two. However, once you add the extra inch of the adapter on the R7, they sit about that much of a difference. The bag that I used to carry this smaller lens in with my camera, it no longer fits this one. So be wary of that if you're going to do that upgrade yourself. Immediate differences which are just obvious as soon as you look at it. It's big. This one has an extra switch, which is a lock switch. Let's see if the camera will focus on it. When you can lock it and unlock it, you can only do so at the 100 set, which great for traveling, great to make sure when you're holding it like so, it's not going to leak out on you. However, it doesn't really have that issue, so don't really worry about it. This lens is brand new, obviously. This lens is 5 years old. This lens is very, very soft. It's very easy to move. This lens, however, is considerably stiffer, and it feels really, really nice. Good feeling lens, 10 out of 10. The obvious difference between this one and the 55-250 is that the 55 starts at 55, this one starts at 100. Second, it goes to 400. The 55-250 only goes to 250. That equates to around 88 to 400 on a crop sensor with the EF55-250, and 160 to 640 on the 100-400. If you're not used to starting at 160, it can be a little bit jarring at first. Having now used it for just a week and a half, I've only been out twice with it. I don't even notice that it's a bigger lens or that it starts further out. It just works. It's fantastic. I can highly recommend it if you're just replacing one to the other. Now, if I were to say what's the negative of this lens, it's a bit darker. It starts at 5.6 at the 100mm and goes all the way to f8 on the 400. It is darker, but the cameras are better, so no, I don't notice it. It's really nice to use. As far as close-up goes, you don't get as close as you used to. I think it's 0.8 meters, 0.88 meters on the 100-400. When you're sitting down and whatever you're photographing, like a duckling, here's some photos of ducklings that I took with that 100-400. When you're taking photos of ducklings like that, they tend to be curious. They come close. There were a few times where they got too close. I couldn't photograph them. That had never been an issue before with the 55-250, because when I'm seated, I could always focus as far as my feet would be, and at that point I didn't really want my feet in the photo anyway, so it was not a problem. Lost focus a few times with this one, but not in a way that would in any way be a problem. It's still very much easy to use. The 100-400 is a USM lens, whilst the 55-250 is STM. I'm not going to go into the technical difficulties and the technical differences between those two things. Just know that the focus, the autofocus of the 100-400 is blazing fast compared to the 55-250, which, because it's a small and light lens, isn't slow in the first place. But the 100-400, it catches focus very quickly. You can go from infinity to as close as possible. It feels instant. It's not. You can see it when you're looking through the eyepiece or looking in the back screen, but it feels instant, especially when I'm used to something that is not slow, but now feels really slow. The lens, being from Canon, does have a few accessories that it doesn't come with. It doesn't include a bag or a pouch, however I wouldn't expect it to, but it also does not come with a lens hood. And at least in New Zealand, where I live, that's another $70, which I'm going to have to get later, but for now, it's fine for now. It's not like I'm taking professional photos or trying to make money and not having the hood is hurting me. It's just one thing that I'll save up and purchase at a later date. Now, I've only really used this lens for wildlife. It's all I'm really going to use it for. The park, at the beach, birds, ducks, seals, I don't know. I don't use it for people or anything else, so my references and my comparisons and my experience is entirely photographing animals. And it works really well. I've never used a better lens. I've never used an L lens, so there are probably sharper lenses and I don't know about it. But this lens is a lot sharper than my old lens, and because that's the sort of upgrade I do, that's all I care about. I don't care that it's less sharp than the 100-500. I don't care that it's less sharp than the old 100-400s. I'm not using them as references. Whenever I upgrade gear, I'm just comparing it to what I've already got, not to what I know I will never be able to afford. So my recommendation to you, if you're looking to do the upgrade, don't compare it to the best lens you're never going to be able to afford, compare it to the best lens you've already got. And at least for me in this case, it's an immediate upgrade. The photos are sharper, the extra zoom's fantastic. It means I get about 50% closer to the target, which might not seem like much, but when you're trying to photograph a skittish little bird, is actually quite a bit. I, as a hobby photographer, highly recommend the 100-400. However, it does cost more. That cost, at least for me, is between $1,100 Kiwi or NZD and $1,600. It's quite a large gap. I got mine externally imported, so it was $1,100. That's not too bad. Buying it locally is $1,600. However, a couple of shops recently had a sale and it was on for $1,400. The price varies. Try and find a bargain if you want it. I think this lens, at least for the R7, which is my main shooter now, is a fantastic balance. It's a fantastic combo. Not too big, not too bulky, not too heavy. I can happily chuck it in my bag, go for a really long walk and pull out the camera. It's not in your face sort of lens. Sometimes I see these really big lenses, which I'd love to have, but I'm never going to be able to buy. But you can't be stealthy with one of those. Everyone knows that you've got a big lens when you're carrying a big lens. Now, as I said just at the start, this is part 1 of 2. I've just got a few sample photos which I've thrown throughout this video, and I'm going to show a few more now just at the end before I run the credits. However, part 2, I'm going to do comparison photos between the 55-250 and the RF 100-400. I will match them at their respective focal lengths where possible, showing how the 55-250 goes wider and the 100-400 goes narrower or more zoom, whichever word you wish to use to refer to that. I will try and zoom them both into the exact same percentage. I'll crop out samples, they'll be the same target, and we'll do some more by the numbers, side by side, 50-50 split down the middle, which lens is better. And hopefully my experience matches those numbers. But I haven't done that yet. At this point, I'm just reporting on what I have experienced by using it myself. I like it. I recommend it. If you are on the fence, if you've got the money, I recommend it. If you don't have the money or you're a little bit strapped for cash for any number of reasons, the 55-250 is still a fantastic lens for the R7. Yes, the R7's got a resolving power or a higher megapixel count, and personally I find that the 55-250 is just on the edge of not very sharp. The 100-400 is very sharp for me, again, having not compared it to better quality lenses. So, takeaways from this if you made it all the way. 100-400, really good lens. I like it. It's not too heavy. Very, very good. It's easy to carry. It doesn't consume lots of space, and no one really knows that you got it. Fantastic. And 4, though it is better than the 55-250, the cost could mean the 55-250 is still a better lens for you. Do the research, check your bank account, get the 100-400 if it's economical and viable for you. Otherwise, don't feel bad about having to get the 55-250. I still recommend it to someone just starting out. But if you've got the dollars to spend and you're able to do so, I would recommend the 100-400 instead. So I'm just going to put up a couple of photos now. These are just photos I took. I haven't gone out for a dedicated shooting session yet with this lens, so these are just photos I have taken. Have a look, see what you think. Let me know if you would like this lens to be reviewed more. I know I'm going to use it more. I am going to do part 2, but if there's more than that you want, or there's things that I have not mentioned that you would like me to cover in a part 2, please let me know in the comments. That would be really awesome. Otherwise, a like and subscribe helps me know that the channel is doing something that is useful for people. I really much appreciate it, and I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in less than 4 weeks next time. Goodbye.